Okay, so we are going to draw a portrait of Martin Luther King Jr. I got this handout as a freebie from Deep Space Sparkle. So we, in class, face-to-face, have the ovals that I have for our heads. This down at the bottom is the chin. It is not an egg head. We want the pointy part towards the bottom. Then we're going to trace, holding your pencils straight up and down so you don't slide under your stencil. Draw lightly so that way you know it is correct. Okay, next we are going to draw the ears and the hairline and the nose. So starting about midway, I want the top of my ears, and a little farther down, it's the bottom of my ears. Try to make them even. And then I put a little backward C. Try to make them about the same size. Okay. Once that is done, we're gonna draw the nose. I like to draw the eyes first. The top of the eyes go to about the top of the ears. So I have my eyes, they're shaped like footballs with a circle in the middle. And this one has a little highlight circle. Try to make this one the same size. And if the highlight circle is on the right side, it stays on the right side. If it's on the left, it stays on the left. Okay, then it's telling you to do the nose. So I like to do the bridge of the nose, then a little U, and then some parentheses. Those parentheses then attach to that little U, and then this kind of goes together. We need some eyebrows. And he has a little crease above his eyes. This doesn't show him with any eyelashes, so that little crease gives a little focus point there. And then his hairline, goes up and over. And then his lips, leave room for the mustache, a little teeny tiny U, up, over, up, over. And then a U at the bottom. Let's give him a little mustache. And this stencil is a little crooked, so I'm gonna fix him a little bit, his chin a little bit. And then give him some little smile lines here. So that's basically what this picture looks like with those directions. Now we have to do a shoulders, a collar, and a tie. So according to this one from about where his mustache is. We go down and over. Your shoulders are wide enough to hold 3 heads. So if my neck is this big, my shoulders need to have 1, 2, 3. So again, over, wide enough. I know it looks a little funny, but it will look even more funny if you don't have your shoulders wide enough. Then we have this little triangle coming from his collar up to his chin. Same thing on this side. And this is like a trapezoid tie shape. And then down for his tie. And then he has like a sport coat on, which makes this like a kind of like a diamond. So from the shoulder out and back down. And then from the collar of his shirt just making that a little more even. And that's what we have for our Martin Luther King body. Okay, so then our next instructions are to make some wavy lines. Still on the paper. Wavy lines. So I'm going to start and do one line going off, and then from that line towards the center, I'm going to go off the page over here. And then maybe from where I start here, I come up and back over. And in these spots are going to be words, so we don't want them to be too small or too big. Okay, and then we are going to Sharpie this. Okay, so I have him all Sharpied. So next is our words. Face-to-face kiddos, I have a list of words that I have made you that you can use so that way you know it is spelled correctly. On this, I want you to fill up these spaces using those words, but I am writing big and I am using fonts that we learned about when we were doing our yearbook cover. So I want you to be creative with these fonts. Fill up all the space and have fun with them. So you may write cursive, you can write bold, you can use serifs, you can write big, you can write lots of little words. Be creative with your letters. Remember, our words are art. They are not a writing assignment. All right, my dears, we are all Sharpied and erased. Next, we are going to paint. Big spots get big paintbrushes, little spots get little paintbrushes. I'm gonna start off by getting some, these are temper cakes. So I am actually gonna paint all in his hair. When I paint, I hold my paintbrush like I do when I draw, up close to the edge, and then you'll have as much control over your paintbrush as you do when you are drawing, coloring, or writing. So I am getting nice and close to his eye, but not in that white spot. The whites of his eyes should stay white. I'm gonna go right over his eyebrow since I colored that in black already. And I went over his hair with my paint because I want it to look a little brown. Okay. These are temper cakes, so we need to use them like watercolor. When my paintbrush dries out, I don't want crazy hair on my paintbrush, so I get more water. I paint with the bristles. I don't paint with the metal part. If you're painting with the metal part, then you need to hold your paintbrush better, and I need you to not press so hard. Got a little dark there. I'm gonna go over his lips with red, but I do want that brown undertone, so I am going to paint the lips brown. Now I'm just trying to even up my color. If the hair on your paintbrush starts getting out of control, that means you need more water. Okay, now, oops, see, out of control. I am going to use black at the very end because black takes over, but I have some purple, so I'm going to color this one purple. Again, I am holding my paintbrush by the bristles. It's okay in the art room to get your temper cake, your paint on your table, because my tables wash off easily in here. I recommend talking to your parent before doing that at home. I am coloring in all of the black lines. Don't go over any black lines. I'm not going over his hair with blue because it's already painted brown. I put some water in my temper cake, so that's why I'm not using as much water this time. And I am using a blue and purple color theme. You can do something else if you would like. Another purple. Clean your paintbrush, rub it on the sides. Don't tap tap. If you tap tap, it gets all over your friend's paper and then they're gonna be mad at you. since we used Sharpies, all your words in the background are going to stay black. It's not going to bleed through. If you use a watercolor black marker, then you're going to have your Sharpie, or you're going to have your black words run with water-based markers. So that's why we used Sharpies for this project. Okay, and then I'm gonna do his lips. And with that brown underneath, they should not be so bright red. And if they're too bright, then you can always put more brown over it to dilute it a little bit. And then I'm going to paint black last because black takes over my water, black takes over my painting. So I want to do that last so that way all my colors don't end up black. There you go. There's our Martin Luther King Jr. project for 4th grade. Based on the lesson from Deep Space Sparkle.